Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclo, and this is Simrail, the railway simulator. It is currently in a playtest period prior to release, which is scheduled right now for January 13th. You can see it's January 4th. I've already made a couple attempts to record this ahead of time back as far as the 2nd, and I've been having recording issues with this game. It's kind of interesting how I can't record this game as cleanly as I can, say, Train Simulator, Train Sim World, Euro Truck Simulator 2, American Truck Simulator. I can record all of those games just fine and other games, but I seem to have problems getting recordings in this game to stick when I do a game capture. So I don't know what that is. That is something I would encourage the development team to look into. In the meantime, I'm now trying a full screen capture with my notifications disabled, so I'm not going to get any Steam notifications while I'm playing like I normally would. I'm not going to be able to use my overlay because you'll see it. And I'm not going to be able to change windows because, again, well, you're going to see it. So basically, everything I can do in the game now is minimized because I have to show you a full screen to make sure everything captures cleanly. That seems to be the only way I'm going to be able to actually get everything for you in this game. So let's just say I'm going to have to print out a lot of stuff to keep on hand while playing, so I don't have to keep changing tabs or anything like that. Not a very convenient way to do this. But let's go ahead and at least look very quickly at the train driver. We're not doing it today. We're going to save this for the full version of the game, which I do intend to get. So there's train driver. And you can see that in train driver, it gives you listings of single-player scenarios. Right now, it's just tutorials. So there's 2 tutorials here for these trains. Again, the required level may change. And there's 1 tutorial for a freight train here, which is the E186. And that is considered the most difficult tutorial. And you can see the tutorials are long. 50 minutes for the tutorials, which is quite a long tutorial, quite a long introduction to the game. So we're going to look at those at a later time. Right now, all we're going to look at is the multiplayer, which is the part I'm going to just do a very, very quick look at here. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that there's service for all sorts of languages. For example, there's DE1, which I believe is German, DE, Deutschland, however you say it. PL is Polish, which is basically, you know, that's where the railways are located. These are Polish railways. We have CZ, we have EN, which is English. We have, well, the more DE, more PL. I think there's some FR here as well. I thought, yeah, there's FR. There's an FR2, for example, with 4 people online on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and narrow this to EN servers, English. You can see there's 9 servers. They reset every 3 hours. So we're going to notice that EN1 is usually the busiest server, and everything else, the next busiest server I can see on here has 2 people in it on EN9. There is otherwise no one online. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to go to an empty server, and we're going to go ahead and just look at something on an empty server because I'm not looking to interact with the main game right now. So let's go to an empty server and take a look. I'm going to use, what is the time right now? It's 10:11 for me, so I'm going to use 10:11 EUSC -5, which means I'm going to go, actually that's the driver only, that's not going to help me. Never mind, that one's out of the question. We're going to go to, you know what, the EN7 is also drivers only. That doesn't help me either. Well, I don't really want to do nighttime. I might not really have a choice here. I'm going to have to go to a UK server that allows us on right now. Or maybe I can go to, you know what? I'll use a Pacific time server. Let's use Pacific time. This is like Vancouver, Los Angeles time that we're going to be in here. So you're going to see it's going to be about 7:12, 7:13 when we get into the game here. That's fine. It's just different times, so you can play at different... and by the way, notice it gives you a ping for each server as well. So if I want to go on EN8 or EN6... Notice I have a really long ping, almost like 900 milliseconds. Whereas if I go to the server in the UK and Europe, for some reason it's 135 ping. And the one within my time zone is actually a larger ping than Europe, which is kind of sad. The other Europe server has a really high ping as well for some reason. So it gives you the ping how you're going to fare on each server, so you can join the server that works best for you. Right now everyone's on the English 1 server, and apparently that's where I'm getting the best ping, interestingly enough. But we're going to go to one of these other ones. Like I said, we're going to go to Pacific time because I want an empty server, and it's early in the morning, so we're going to get a nice early in the morning look at the game here. I'm just going to go ahead and pick randomly. I'm getting a higher ping now. Beautiful. We're going to randomly choose EN3 out of those. You're going to notice you can either play as a driver or as a traffic dispatcher. Let's look at driver first. You can pick any of these trains. So there's 14109. This is a service that departs at 7:26, so it's not on the way yet, apparently. And it's a passenger service, so we can do that. Going down the list. And by the way, there are only 5-digit and 6-digit services right now. The 4-digit services are currently not drivable. We're not able to play those trains yet. Now, 7:15 is this service is just about to depart. If we wanted to, we could hop in this train. We could take off right away. It's just about to depart. So we'd be able to get it into action, get it moving. So that would be another option for us. And if we decide to scroll down, we're going to find some light engines down here. These are just an engine, nothing coming behind them. This is a 13-minute scenario because it only drives a short distance on the route. And then we have the freight train, which is basically a 41-minute scenario. Some other 447 services there, about 33 minutes. And they vary in time, so if you want to have a short drive, find one that is not departed yet. You got a short drive. Here's a 7-minute drive, 42112. This is probably one that goes to I keep butchering it, but one of my favorite stations to the south, going towards Katowice, and or the vice versa down line 660, and so Sovniak Glauni is the station I'm talking about. We're going to see that in a second, but excuse me. But that's probably one of those short services that goes through there because I recognize 42112 as one of those numbers. 42114 is the same thing, only a 5-minute service. So basically, if you want to do a very, very quick short drive in multiplayer mode, this is how you do it. Then you come back and pioneer another train and give the dispatchers another view of you going by, which is always fun. So let's go ahead and get out of this for now, though. We're going to go into Traffic Dispatcher because we're not doing the driving today. You can see we have 11 stations, so let's introduce them. Gora Vodowska, or something like that, is a little station with no platforms. The 2 side tracks can be used to stop trains that are to be overtaken. We have Psary here, which mentions that it has a connection to line 64, which is one of the routes we're going to have a few stations on in the main payware game. We don't have that line yet. There are 2 side tracks you can use here if you need to. Tapovka, which has no platforms. This station, Polnok, means north, by the way. I can never say this. Even with a guide, I can never say this. So I apologize. It's going to be one that's going to be hard to say even when I get going. But this has 1 platform with express and international trains stopping here. Osamovis is a little station with 2 side tracks. And again, I don't mean any insult to the Polish by saying your names wrong. I'm from North America. Forgive me. Even though I have German ancestry, I know nothing about Polish. So we'll leave it at that. Pilichowice is not a station. It's actually a dispatch area only. There are no platforms here. So again, this is only for dispatching. No side tracks. All you can do is go left to right and back. And that's it. So you can't really even do much. Just send a train through. That's all you can really do. Katowice Zadowski. Or Katowice Zadowski. I keep messing up the W in the second word. Katowice Zawodzki. Zawodzki. Commuter train stop here. I have seen this station before. Lots of platform stopping points. You have 4 spots trains can stop. The lines to Mistovici are not available in the demo. I think they're being finished for the main game, so we're going to see trains able to go down there in the main game. Those services, therefore, are not in the playtest. My favorite station is Sosovniak Goloni. And this is connection to line 62 and line 660. In fact, if you get in this as the server loads, you can see a train coming down 62, which it normally doesn't do, which is very interesting. I've actually seen that before. And if you get in right at the server launch, you get to see that train coming in behind you on 62. Kind of a neat sight to see that. And hopefully in the full game, we see more trains using that. Though since it follows real timetables, I don't think trains usually take that side track. It's marked as a local track on the map. We're probably not going to be able to do anything with that. The Brova Gorniksa is a small station with 2 tracks and a platform. Now, today, the station looks a lot different. I've looked it up today, and there are now passing points, like pacing points you can go around on the right side of the computer screen as we look at it. But if we go into this screen right now, you're going to see that there's only a connection on the left, a single connection. The siding that you have access to in the game is one you can only reverse into. Today, the siding goes all the way through. You can go in and go out. So there's a lot more options in terms of what you can do at that station today. Unfortunately, in this game, it is not set up that way, and I think it's being fixed to a certain time period. So don't expect this station to look like it would today. It will not look like it does today. I hope in the future they do update the map or even have a second updated map, but I have a feeling they're going to work instead on DLC and by connecting other routes to the main game as DLC. And if they do that, that's probably better than trying to revise the station. So we're being given the way the station looked at a certain point in time. Construction is underway there right now. That's all I'm going to say about it. We're not going to get the way it looks today. And it's too bad because it really works well today. Now, there's 2 other stations here that work differently. These first 9 use computer screens. The other 2, and I'm going to get to show you, I'm going to try and get you a session on Glauni on my next Tuesday video. So I'm going to be skipping Train Simulator on Tuesday and doing this on Tuesday instead if I can get us a 3-hour stint in here, and I'll edit a lot of stuff out. And I'm going to see how this video works and make sure it all looks proper. So the two stations I'm going to look at next, Beijing is a manual panel, and Wazy LC is an even more manual panel. It's a larger panel. I've seen the track junctions around Wazy, and I can guarantee you it is a living nightmare going through there. It's interesting as a driver watching all these freight paths and knowing where you need to go and hoping the dispatcher gets you to the right one. That is Wazy dispatcher's job to get you into the right siding. If you need to go into a siding to finish your service or something like that, a freight service, for example. So this is a very, very busy station. Katowice at the other end of the route is also a very, very busy station. So Katowice Zawodski is the westernmost station we have access to right now. Katowice itself has an even bigger manual panel, I understand, even more yards and service areas you can go into, platform areas, 4 platforms. And yeah, let's just say it's a lot of fun. We're going to go to a simple one today, though. And I can't really say it's a lot of fun because I've actually never been there. You can't be there yet. But we're going to get it in the main game, and I'm looking forward to seeing how players are able to handle that. Because it should be fun trying to get through there and finish your services there. I don't think you're going to actually drive a train to the west of that station unless you're a freight train, in which case you're going to end your service anyway. But since Line 1 ends at Katowice, that's really the terminus of this route for both routes that are in this game. So we'll see if they go west of that in the future. At this point, I don't expect them to. But it will be nice to see if we can get any of the smaller lines in the future. I don't think it's in their top priority for the next 2 or 3 years. So I think they're going to work on more Line 2, Line 4, more of Line 4. Actually, no, Line 4 is going to be full. So they're going to, I suspect they're going to finish Line 1 because it has about another 50 passenger stations on it. They're going to probably finish Line 2, which goes east of Warsaw to a border and has another line branching off 31, I think it is. I expect they're going to finish Line 8. We're going to have a few stations on it where Line 62 ends at Line 8. Other than that, down to Krakow is not available. And up to Warsaw along Line 8 is also not available. So I expect they're going to have a lot of stuff they can finish to complete our network here. And I'd love to see Lines 1, 2, 4, 8 all completed. Maybe get Line 65 in there. I don't know if there's a 61 and a 63, but we'll see in the future if they do that. Right now, all I'm doing is giving you a short demonstration of the game. We're not going to do anything super amazing today, so I'm not going to go to one of these harder stations. We're going to do that next week. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and bring up... By the way, on Wednesday, I want to bring up Beijing and see if I can work Beijing as well on an empty server. It's going to be interesting to see if I can do that. In the meantime, let's go to a fairly quiet station today. We're going to start at Pilichowice just to show you how the mechanics work. Then we're going to go to another station after that and find out throw in a little more wrinkles to it. So let's get started. So I've now arrived at my station at Pilichowice. The bot in the area has been given a green signal. I forgot what my walk controls were for a second. So let's look at the computer. I'm just going to make sure everything's clear. Yeah, we're clear for right now. So I'll come back to that in a second. So you can see looking around the office, we have a door. We can use that door and go outside. We can look around outside. You're going to get used to that message. We'll close it for now. So that's an AI message. That's a station we can't even control yet. That's further to the north. So we can't even go there yet. So you can go around, look outside, and find that we're trapped in here. We can jump, which is always fun. We can't jump over this fence. You can jump over a railway crossing, oddly enough, but you can't jump over a fence. So let's go ahead and run by holding the shift key. And if I want to, I can hop on the bridge and take a picture. I'll worry about that later. So for right now, these are the tracks we deal with in this station. We only have 2 tracks. You're going to notice as we walk along the tracks, actually let's go for a run. There's the crossover track that was mentioned, so you can see a crossover track here. The train is able to take this crossover track if we tell it to. If we do not tell it to, it will not take this track. So we have the extra tracks here that we can use. You can see a car going over on the bridge. By the way, they don't run you over. You can stand in front of them. They'll go right through you. It's actually kind of funny and sad at the same time. So this is the area that we are basically controlling here. And our building is over there. If we head back to the building, and I hope this is capturing correctly for you, because if it is not, I may have to cancel this video. I don't want to do that. So this is the building. If we go to the outside of the building, you can actually see inside the building. And if someone were in the building with you, a train driver stops, either because you command him to or because he's having a problem and you want to stop near another player area, he'd be able to come in the building and join you and, get a cup of water or something. Let's warp our way inside. We can actually use the door. which is over here, obviously. But I want to show you one more mechanic. I think this is the right door. That's not the right door. I got the wrong door. Let's find the right door. You can see it shows that you're stationed up here as well. Pilichowice, PL. So heading back, where was the door? Was it behind the building? I don't have the right door. I forgot where the door is, ladies and gentlemen. I think it faces the front, so it has to be over here. I just clicked on the wrong door. Maybe it's this door. Oh, it was this door. It just didn't click. So you can use that to enter the building. But if you are, you know, goodness knows where, you're just staring in the window, you can push 1 and you pop right back into the office, just like that. If you go too far, now you can wander down the tracks, by the way, anywhere you want along the tracks if you want to abandon your post. Keep in mind that if you do that, you're not going to be able to warp back to the building if you get a certain distance from the building. I don't know what that distance is, but you're not going to be able to always go back. Let's take a quick look over here at the schedule. This is the schedule that we have to abide by. This is our Bible. Now, sometimes a train may not come properly as we expect it to. I noticed we did get a message from Opolzo Poludri. Again, I don't know that one. I haven't practiced that one yet. I haven't even looked up the pronunciation guide for that one yet. But you can see that it's sending a train to us that's supposed to arrive at 7:29. This is train number 1313 in Express. Let's look at the main computer here. Look at that. That is 1313. That is an Express. So how I'm going to set this train, if I want to, I can go along one of the side tracks here and set a route this way. But notice... Can someone explain to me why these are set this way? Let's, This is interesting. This is interesting. I'm going to try to choose interlocking direction here because this is not going to work. This is not going to work if I leave it this way. So choose interlocking direction. Choose interlocking direction, please. Choose interlock. I am taking a picture of this. This is actually sad. This is very sad. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to. So you notice I'm gonna do it again to show you. Notice I click on the first arrow, I click on the second arrow, and I can send it on its way here. And the train will go through. The path will be set up first of all. Notice that it's already junctioning off onto the other track, which I find hilarious. And off it goes. So that train is now set for a path, and I've got a screenshot to share later. This is gonna be interesting. Yeah, don't know why it's doing that, but it is. So notice that now I've got a path set. I'm not able to use these junctions. I'm not going to be allowed to change these junctions because this path is set. So if I try to go, for example, here to here, and I go to, notice it doesn't even give me the train route option. It just says lock and or cancel route and so on. The train is so close, I probably can't cancel it easily though. So we're going to leave that as is. You could pass a red signal if you cancel a route on it this close. It's starting to rain. That's not what I want to hear. Let's go ahead and watch for a train to go by here, because we're going to get to see. I was going to go outside and watch, but there's no point, not in the rain. So I'm going to keep a view of the window here. We're going to get a nice window view of this train going by. We can see, if we look at our computer screen again, that it is entering. So let's watch it go by. And I'm just going to hope that you're seeing this correctly, because again, I'm not used to recording in full screen mode. And I assume it's going to capture this cleanly, unlike, you know, the rest of the modes, which don't seem to work. Okay, we got to see 1313 go by, and now I'm going to figure out what is wrong with this. So the path is set. Now, if I want to, I can now go ahead and set back for this train route again and execute and connect the train route here. I'm not going to do that because this is not the way traffic is supposed to go. Traffic is supposed to go on track number 2, I believe, in the other direction. One of these routes is... So it says lock departure in this direction, which basically would mean the arrow turns pink and you're not able to send anyone in that direction. So if I now send a train this way, it's going to say failure because moving in this direction is locked. We can't go that way anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock that because obviously that's not going to do any good for us here. We can't do that. What I'm puzzled about is if traffic is going to show up from somewhere to the north. I don't know if traffic's going to come from the north. And this isn't... Notice, by the way, that's the player list I pulled up. There's no one on. I'm just seeing if anyone showed up. But I don't know why I'm not able to switch the... let's do permission for direction change. Rejected. Well, you're a jerk. Cancel turning on interlocking. Execute. Rejected. You're a jerk. Release interlocking direction. You're a jerk. But yet, I can go ahead and choose interlocking direction just fine. So none of this works. I'm not able to change the direction. Can I do it on these? Nope, not able to do it on these. So basically, the computer is now not allowing... Oh, wait. I can release this one. I can release the interlocking direction on this one. So let's do that. So now I can choose interlocking direction, and I can eventually... Let's try this. There we go. That's what I want to see. So let's choose the other direction now. Now I'm going the right way. That's what I want to see. So now that I've done this, let's see if I can... This one's not going to release, unfortunately. Why is it doing this? I can't change either of those, but I can change both of these to go in the other direction. I can make sure no traffic can come through if I so choose, but I can't make sure traffic can flow in that direction. What's going on here? This is so wrong. This is so wrong. It shouldn't be doing this. It should not be doing this. Why is it doing this? Yeah, nothing works, ladies and gentlemen. It didn't work. I want to try that again. There we go. What is wrong here? That's basically the best way to put it. I'm taking a picture of that, guys. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. It hurt to take it twice, apparently, but it only took it once, I believe. There are no trains coming along, apparently, until 7:48, so it's going to be boring here anyway. I'm out of here. Let's go to another station and see what we can do somewhere else, shall we? We can go back to the main menu by going to main menu or exit game to quit the game completely. Not much else to do here. We're going to go to the main menu. So I've moved now to EN4. Hopefully we can get rid of the rain on this server. We're going to head to Psary right now and see what's happening there. This is where we have a connection to the main railway route, connecting to line 64. There are 2 side tracks. We're just going to go ahead and do a quick exploration of this station. See if we can get a train on the side track today if we're lucky. We may not have one, but let's take a look. Here we are in Psary. Let's go ahead and look around here. We have another water cooler. We have binders and notebooks and stuff. Radio equipment. And the usual windows that a dispatcher can look out of. This one is not a very windowed office. We have a couple on the back side that look out on nothing. But we have just a couple windows out the front that we would be able to use to see a train go by. We got a printer that doesn't work and, you know, things like that. Let's look at this computer screen, look at this schedule. We do have a 570 train coming at 7:59. I will be skipping ahead to that at some point, but before we do that, very quick look around at the rest of the office. I didn't actually show you something on the last scenario. Notice that we have a phone here with 3 blue buttons lit up. Now, if there is a player at any of those stations, those buttons will be the same regular color as the rest of the buttons, which don't do anything. And if there's a player there, we'll have the option to pick up the phone and click on a voice call thing for the button. Click the button, we get a voice call option. We can talk to them live. We're not doing that, mainly because there's no one online with us. So we do have the ability to talk live on the server as well. Since you can see there's no one here, I'll just do a demonstration. You hold down the key under the escape key, and hey, we're talking. Wait, there's no one on the server, so we can't talk live. Never mind. Yeah, normally you push the key and it will let you talk live, but since there's no one on the server, it's not going to let us do that. So we're not able to talk live. I did not know it did that, but apparently it does that. Good to know. We also have a backlight on our phone, by the way, so you can see the keys very nice and shiny and bright. We don't need that. It's not nighttime. We don't need that. What's going on the screen? We should be doing... Oh, busy screen here. This server is set up correctly, and you can see the side route over here, which is this arrow right here, is set currently to allow trains in from line 570. Now, if we have a train going to line 570, we're going to have steps we need to do where we request an interlocking change. The station down the line, which appears to be Psary, needs to accept the interlocking change, which an AI usually accepts it right away as long as they're not sending a train already. But the system would reject it anyway in that case. But if we request interlocking change, Psary will typically accept it because it assumes that we're sending a train this way. And if we have an interlocking set against it, it will not ask to send a train. But later on, it will ask to send a train. Let's see what our next train is here. This is going to be a pretty boring period here. We don't have a train till 7:48. We are still kind of in the area where line 4 is opening up. So let's look at the map here a little bit. And if we look over here, you can see on the right side, I'm highlighting 1611 right now, and then below it 1624. You can see it says line 4 above it, heading to Krakow, or however you say that. I can't read it on this screen. And then we have Gora over on the other side with a lot of sections of track. We have 21 sections of high-speed track apparently before we get to Gora. So this is a very, very long track, a very long drive along line number 4. A lot of driving. In the same distance on line number 1, you probably see about 5 or 10 stations. Just guessing on that, but I think it's about 5 or 10 stations you would see on line number 1 in that same distance. That's representing about 20, 30, maybe more kilometers on it. At least a kilometer per section, I'm sure. So I'm guessing about 20 or 30 kilometers of track right there, just on the left side of the map that no one has any control over. You are the connection point to that track, and people coming in and out. So the next train we're going to see is at 7:48. I'm just going to show you what's going to happen here. At 7:48, we're going to see train number 1413. Now, it could be a little bit off in time. Maybe it'll be late. I don't know. Keep in mind it is coming from the Gora side and not from the Krakow side. It's heading from Warsaw to Pilichowice. And yeah, Warsaw to Pilichowice means it's going to be heading south. And we already saw at Pilichowice the path from that direction seems to be broken. Hopefully the AIs can work it out. But the path does seem to be broken. I don't know if we're going to see that train. I honestly don't know if we're going to see that train. I don't think we're going to see that train. This is going to be fun. We're getting an alert. Let's see what the alert is. It might be for that train leaving. Oh, it is 1413. We are going to see that train. So Krakow has sent the train off. So we're going to see at some point the train is going to enter our map. Let's keep an eye on the map as I talk. Because this train will be coming through our station probably in about 9 minutes. In fact, you see the red mark at the top of the map right now. That indicates that the train has entered our map. We're going to eventually be sending this train through. Now, let's look up the information on train number 1413. Does it need to go... We may need to move it up into the siding over here for all we know. Being an express train, not likely. We could choose to move it down into this siding here. If we want to set a really funky path for it, we can have some real fun with it. And set it through the siding. Once it's in the siding, we can then move it back on the main track like this and set that path. If we want to put it on line 570, we can request to change this arrow's direction. Then we can go ahead and send it over to 570 via either of the middle arrow here, which I'm going to select for fun. You can see that that's now the path heading to line 570. This train does not go on line 570. We're going to go ahead and send this train through normally. And the way we would do that is by looking at the map. We see it goes... on line 4, which is where we are. There's no layover. It does not stop here, so it just goes straight through, and it's going to come and go, just like that. It's an EIJ, which is basically an express service. You're going to see it looks like a Pendolino if you didn't see the previous one already. So it's an intercity SA service. There you go. So Warsaw to Pilichowice. Let's make sure we don't impede this train. It is getting closer, so we want to make sure we can get it through. Now, this one, you can set train route immediately. If you want to, you can also click the arrow in the middle for any of those 3 arrows. Even the shunting arrow here. You can go down to this one if you want to. Make that the path just for fun. We're not going to hold it up, though. We're going to go ahead and keep it on just this arrow. This is now just the train route. We're going to set this train route. It is going to be on its way. The path will turn green after the junctions all move out. I don't know why the traffic in the other direction was set to use that track. I honestly have no idea. I assume there were 2 trains here at one point, and the other train needed the access point. I don't know. Maybe the trains arrived at the same time. I don't know. I'm not going to make a speculation on this. The AI does weird things. The AI does really, really weird things. Let's, we now set the junctions correctly. You can see that line 3 and line 2 cannot connect to that track right now. That is fine. We're getting a warning that train 41110 is departing. We're going to look at that coming from Gora's side. And you can see my computer screen right now. I'm going to zoom in a little as we wait for the train to go by. But you can see the Gora side of my screen. We're going to eventually see a red mark. In the meantime, let's go ahead and watch for this train coming in. It's entering our junction now, as you can see on the screen. It'll eventually be going by on our track. So I'm just going to shut up and let you watch a 200 km/h train drive by. Signal N. Taking its time. 41110 is now on our map. And there you go. So that train has done its thing and gone by. And we're going to go ahead and head into the computer screen again, where you can see, now it shows 2 trains, but it will show if it's in each section. So if it shows, it gives you information on what train is in each section. While a train is crossing from one section to another, it shows as being in both sections. So it doesn't show just the leadmost section in that case, which would actually be a little bit of an improvement, but I guess it makes sense to show both. So train number 41413 is now on its way out. By the way, we can do reset ACO counters. I don't know what this is supposed to do. I don't think it works yet in this playtest. It does something to check trains as it goes by, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure out when the full game comes what we're supposed to do with that. And real dispatchers may already know. I don't. I'm not going to act like I do. So here comes 41110 on the way to our path. We're going to look up 41110 and see what it does. Well, as you can expect, this being a no stations platform, there's no layover here. Trains aren't going to be held. When we go to Sosovniak Glauni, we're going to go ahead and look at some complicated stopping patterns. I'm going to eventually show you Bijin, maybe Wazy if I feel I can handle it. But I'm going to show you a manual one, hopefully on the last video. If I don't get to the manual one, then what's going to happen is I'll just show you the Glauni one, and we'll look at manual when we see the full game. I haven't decided how we're going to do that yet. I may save the manual one for the full launch because Bijin always gets picked up quickly in the live games as well. So very popular learning station for learning manual control panels here. But as you can see, we are going from Knapkova to Gora on trains already gone by. So we're going to move to, what did I say the number was? I don't see, 41110. It is going to be early. This train is going to be early, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it early? It's going to be arriving supposedly at 8:10, but it's going to be super, super early. Because it is 41110, right? Yeah, it is, right there. The AI is now speaking. We still have no players, so that is an AI text message that's basically saying it's going to give 24115 to us. 24115 is right here. So, oh, shush. 24115 is right here, an MPE service. We're going to be getting that service coming through. Again, no stop. Nothing unusual. This is coming from Knapkovka, so we're going to see it before 41110, which is way down here. 41110, however, is making good progress. We're going to see it in about, doing the math here, this is about 16 sections. So 14 along the top row and 7 going down the side. So we have 16 sections before this train arrives. We don't have to do anything with it yet. 24115, however, is going to come from the right side in this area. We're eventually going to be pathing that train straight through as well. So I'm just going to show you what you can do with a side track if you wanted to. Let's say there was a train that stopped that was having trouble. We direct it to stop on line 1 to make sure that we kept the line 2 traffic clear. But we knew that we have to sometimes send a train around. So let's for a moment assume that there's a train sitting on this track. We're going to go ahead and just act for a moment like this track is closed. So if I execute closed track, you can see that it's changed to a double line. This track is closed. If I try to do a path along this track, it will not let... It will do that because the track from that side is open, but it's not going to allow us to move into that section. So we're not able to do this route at all. It will give us a refusal to do so. So by closing this track, we are basically saying that there is now a problem. Something is wrong with this track. You can't use this track. So let's go ahead and cancel this by hitting execute. I'm then going to go back. I'm going to say request immediate train route cancellation. Sometimes it will give a reception that you've initiated that, but you're going to have to very often go to the ZWD here, or ZWP, which is confirmation of the train route cancellation, and it will then clear. Sometimes it doesn't work right away. Just keep trying. It'll eventually work. In this case, it worked perfectly. So since we've closed this track, we can now send a train via not that track, but we can either go via the top track or any of these other tracks here if we want to. So I'm going to act like there's a train in that section of track. We've asked the train to stop there. That section is now closed. Here comes the train in question right now. We can now see that this train is going to come in quicker than the service coming on the other line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just for fun, because again, I don't have to do this. I'm just showing you how this works. I'm going to go ahead and send a train along this junction. We're going to go ahead and send it via line number 2. Execute. The junctions will set themselves. And we've now got one set. Now we have to set for the other one. So now that train is set to take line number 2. Keep in mind, when you're at this computer, you are the dispatcher. You can send trains wherever you want to send them. You are God to these people. If you have tracks all blocked ahead, you can't send them through. You can't send them through. You're telling him you're waiting. You're going to do what I tell you to. If there's a train at the platform they need and that train is late and they're taking a longer time to pick up passengers, you can send that train behind it to another platform and say, you're picking up passengers here instead. Sorry if it affects your score. This is what I'm limited in doing. Have a nice day. And they have to do exactly what you tell them. But at the same time, they have an expectation that you're going to give them appropriate directions as well. So for the purpose of our demonstration, we are showing that track number 1 is not available. There's a problem with the track. Maybe this signal is broken. Maybe there's a problem with the signal. We can put a sign on it to remind us saying broken signal. So that means that this line, when we put that mark there for ourselves, we're making our own little scenario to say this track is not available. This is a broken signal. We've closed the track on line number 1. That's exactly what I've done here. So I've now created my own little scenario where I have to send trains around a broken signal. That's all I have to do. That's literally all I have to do. And I can do that at my will. So I'm going to head outside. I'm going to get a vantage point to watch 24115 go by. Let's go take a look, shall we? So notice in the information, it shows you the train is coming to signal M. It gives you a letter for signals inside your territory. It's now heading by. Wow, I did not realize it was coming from that side. But notice the track that it took was this track right here. And if you look behind here, you're going to notice, if I zoom out a little bit, if we follow the track that train was on, this was the straight track. So this is the track that the train came in on. If we head down the way that it came, or the way that it went, you're going to notice that eventually it would have taken a side track coming up here. I was looking from the wrong direction, so that was my fault. At some point, you would see the train would have gone along here, and it would have taken a side track to move tracks down here. Maybe it was further back as well. I'm not sure. I haven't explored this area in full, but the train went down this track and it continued onwards, and eventually it took another junction track, which eventually put it back on the main line that it needs to be on. It might have already been on the main line it needs to be on. I don't know. It followed the path that we gave it anyway. That's the main thing. It followed the path we directed it to. It would not be able to go through on any other path, and as a result, this is a path it would have taken, and it looks like it would have actually gone along the side track over here back to main line number 1. So this is the track that it would have taken, and it would have been back on its path. You notice it's now leaving, going 120 kilometers an hour. It's going to move up to 140. We have a train we need to check in on signal B, however. It has a red signal right now. Ignore that prompt. Let's grab the computer from over here. That's the train right there we're waiting for. I already know it's an express. I already know it's a broken signal, so we're going to go ahead and route this guy around here as well. Let's see how the game decides to route this train. I'm going to be interested to see what the game decides to do. So let's see what happens here. If that track is closed, it's going to keep the same track, it looks like, going along track number 2 again. Nope, order rejected. It's not doing what I want it to. Okay, that's a good start. So this train is going to have to wait for a minute while I sort out problems with my computer. Because computer problems happen sometimes. So you have to be very specific sometimes as to the route you want to do. Now notice I did this too quickly. I tried to confirm too quickly. My order to reset the track was rejected. So I'm going to try and do it again. It's still rejecting. But we're going to have to keep trying. I'm just going to do another initialization just to make sure it did go through. So there we go. The initialization is working. Nope, that's not it. And now it's gone ahead and confirmed. So now I'm going to do some very interesting things here. Let's go ahead and set a path for this train. We're going to have to get it to this point. I'm going to follow it through siding number 4 because why not? So this is going to go via siding number 4. 1413 or 1313 is going to come straight through, but let's go ahead and let this path set first. Ooh, it's not doing exactly what I want it to. So you know what? Because track number 2 needs to be set for this train right now, I'm going to have to do this other train via a siding. So I'm going to go ahead and set this train here. It's going to go via the siding. We have worked our way around the broken signal. Problem solved. The broken signal issue has been solved. So the path is going to set. I thought I was going to be able to move the train along line number 4, along line number 4, and move the other one line number 2, but I didn't check the settings properly. That was partially my fault there. So we're going to be giving both trains a bit of a roundabout route here. They're going to get a little bit of a tour of the Psary area today. So we're going to watch the first of those trains go by as soon as that other path sets, which it doesn't seem to want to set yet. There it is. We're going to watch that train go by. Let's head outside for a moment because there's nothing else to do here for a moment. We're being given indication that the set route from signal P... Okay, you know what? It doesn't like the way I did this. You're going to be a jerk. You're going to be a jerk. You are going to be a jerk. Notice what it's doing. I go to set the route, it sets it, and then it unsets it. And it gives me an alert saying the set route from signal PSB, or PS8, would send the train in the wrong direction. There is nothing wrong with sending this train through a siding. There is nothing wrong with this. I was able to send this train through a siding. Why can't this train go through a siding? What's wrong? What is wrong with this? It should be working. It should be worky. What is it doing? So I'm going to have to clear this out. I'm going to have to remove this route completely from my setting because the game's not going to let me put the train into the siding. Apparently 1313 is not allowed to use that siding. I don't understand why. I do not understand why. I honestly don't get it. But we're going to have to clear that out and be babied by a game that doesn't know what it's doing. So we're going to make the assumption at this point that the broken signal has been fixed. We're going to go ahead and open up this track again. We're going to click on open track. The track is now available again. It goes back to a single line. We can now route trains back through here. And, you know, this stupid baby game is going to be stupid. This game is going to be a baby. This game is a baby. That's what I'm telling you. Now, the fun thing about the broken signal is you could still route trains the other way, because even though I said this signal was broken, the signal over here was not broken. I could have still sent trains through on this track just fine. But I didn't do that, obviously. 14111 is coming. Let's take a look at that as we watch. What is wrong with you? Okay, notice again that it's telling me I'm setting the train the wrong way. I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out what is wrong here. I'm going to try to set the first part of the route but I'm going to wait for this other train to go by first because this other train might be complicating matters a little bit. So we're going to clear this. Let's try one more time to set this route. Just the first part of it this time. Oh, is it going to let me this time? So apparently I have to set the first part of the route before it'll do anything else. Is that how it works? I have to set the first part of the route before I can set the second part of the route. 1313 is still getting a red at signal N, which I don't understand. Oh, because this is signal N. Okay. So now it's going to let me put the train through. And it's not letting me use that route. Are you... I want to show you the problem here, ladies and gentlemen. Train number 41110 is working its way through just fine. Let's go ahead and find out what 14111 has to do. It is staying on this track as well. Oh, I see the problem. 1313 actually takes through to Starsny. So, okay, I take back what I said. The game knows what it's doing. This train has to go to Starsny. So now we're going to have to go ahead and set this arrow. Release this interlocking in the other direction. Normally I would hop on the phone, I would request to change. I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way because this also counts as a request to change. This is the train I was waiting for. I thought it was one of the 1-4 services that went this way. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I admit it. So now we're going to release it. Just finished releasing. We're going to choose the interlocking direction. Now we're going to set it to that direction. The line down at Starsny is going to accept it. This arrow has gone solid. It is now accepted. So now we can go ahead and we can do this. This path should set correctly because now it is going on the correct route. Okay. So on my next shift at Gloundy, I'm going to have to keep in mind that this will happen. It's never happened before. I've never seen it yet. This is the first time I've seen this. The game will now make sure that if you route a train the wrong way, like I was about to, that it will be able to come through cleanly. Let's go ahead and move this train around the sign just so it doesn't have to keep waiting. So we're going to send... Oh, it's rejecting it. Oh, because this path is taken. That's why. Never mind. There is a train right there. I can't send anyone that way yet. So I'm going to let the train clear. Here comes the train going through the siding. It's on its way to Starsny. I didn't mean to do that. It's on its way to Starsny, and we are going to be sending 14111 through. We're going to send 242215 through. So this train is now good to go. Let's send him on his way. It is still rejecting. Awesome. We're going to try it again. Let's try and send it on its way. It has finished rejecting. It is now going to accept. There we go. So once this train finishes going through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cancel the arrow to make sure that if the other train actually the station down the line might even cancel it to show the train arrived. At that point, the arrow will stay completely set, and as a gray arrow, we're going to see in a moment if it gets reset or not. I'm going to have to send 242215 through as well. 242215, as you can see, is this guy. No layovers, nothing. Just send him through. And we're going to send him through for 809, apparently. He's early as well. The other train came at 806, so everything is running early today, apparently. 14111 is 6 minutes early. And this guy is also early. So sometimes trains will run early. It happens. So once he clears through, we're going to move 242215 into the station. This guy is now through, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock or release the interlocking direction. That will reject. Awesome, that will reject. Maybe it'll happen without me doing anything. Let's find out. The 14111 is on its way through right now. If we zoom in, we're going to see what kind of train this is. So let's keep an eye on that train. So these yellow routes are actually working correctly. I did not expect that to work that way, and I did not expect that to be the service it was because I've never worked this station before. I could have screwed up this game, guys. The train is not showing up on my area yet, which is interesting. These 1313 is showing at SPD. There is going to be a route in that area that we're going to have access to as dispatchers. For right now, we're not able to go there. Here comes 14111 going by right now. You can see that's kind of like this old-looking thing that's going by, this old-looking train. No engine on the other side, so I guess you have to reverse if you go the other way. I don't know. Maybe they have a runaround set up. I don't know how they do that, to be honest with you. But let's go back to the computer. Let's go ahead and get this train set to go by. As soon as this train clears the junction, it is on its way. You are done, so we're going to go ahead and release the interlocking direction now and be rejected. Awesome. I love when things work. Release interlocking direction. Awesome. I love when things work. Release interlocking direction. Choose interlocking direction. Okay, apparently the only way that's going to change now is if Starsy asks to do it. That's the only way that's going to happen now, I think. It's not going to let me do anything else to release it. Awesome. So apparently we can't change this on our own anymore. We can't change this on our own anymore. That's all I can really say about that. We're going to get the slide engine on its way as soon as we're able to. Then we're going to wrap up our shift for the day. Because this is proving interesting. We're going to wrap up our shift after we get this train through. We're going to let the AI take over again. So you can see way up ahead, 24115 is continuing on its way out of the map. 14111 is now out of our path. We're going to go ahead and set a train route here through track number 1. And we're going to head outside and watch the light engine go by, because why not? We're going to wrap up our shift. So you can see I have my nice, lovely red car parked over here. That seems to show up everywhere I work. I don't know why. So I'm going to head up to the track. I think it comes from this direction, now that I've had myself almost run into. Let's turn the display off. Just going to take a quick glance over. There was a little bit of a lag on my movement there. That was something I saw. That was not clean. But we're going to head over and make sure the train comes in the right direction for us. There it is. You can see it coming right there. As you can see, it's just a light engine. Nothing really fancy about it. Let's leave it zoomed in a little bit. We can watch it go by. And off it goes. So from Psary, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video here because it's long enough. This is a good demonstration of how the game works. Next time I come to Simrail in the playtest, I'm going to try to get you a video from Sosovniak Glowny. And we're going to go ahead and look at a station that I know very well. I know the schedule, how that setup works very well at that station. We're still going to show you everything on the schedule, though. We are going to be throwing platforms into the mix. And we're going to also have another side route just like here to line 660. Again, one that I'm very familiar with. Trains will follow along with very nicely. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will get some more Simrail on here. I intend to pick up the game, and I intend to show you the full game and do some driving in the trains as well. I will, however, save that for release simply because the levels will get reset. I may do one of the tutorials for you, though, for release day, though, ahead of time. So in the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is. Again, I'll see you next time. I'm Cyclone. Make sure to follow for all the Train Simulator and Train Sim World content I'm going to be doing as well. I am not exclusive to 1 or 2 games. So I will see you for more of that in the future. I'm Cyclone. See you next time. Bye-bye.